Parking meter prices on the rise, and so are the frustrations of those paying. Children rocket into recycling, learning to save the earth with fun. Joplin City Council puts a hold on people trying to rebuild. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
Today, Joplin City Council voted to place restrictions on home rebuilding. Good evening, I'm Angie Bailey.
And I'm Nina Moynihan for Jim. Thanks for joining us. The city says it is putting safety first for residents. KOMU 8's Todd Tumminia joins us with details on the rebuilding hold.
Nina and Angie, the Joplin City Council placed a 60-day hold on building permits for new houses in the severely damaged parts of the city. The public information officer, Lynn Onstadt, told me the hold is designed to encourage residents to be as safe as possible as they rebuild. Onstadt says crews are clearing an estimated 75 to 125 lots of debris a day right now. That's because FEMA has agreed to pick up 90% of the debris removal cost until August 7th, Now, after that August 7th deadline, cleanup crews can estimate $3 million a day in Joplin. Onstadt says she understands why residents are concerned, but says safety is the most important thing. Utilities throughout the area are turned off, and some power lines are still even down, so rebuilding is a little bit difficult right now. FEMA is currently in the process of housing some of those victims. KOMU 8's Allie Spilliards joins me to tell us about a temporary solution to housing some displaced families.
Right. Well, FEMA trailers arrived a week ago, and families began moving in 2 days later. I recently met up with the first family to move in, and they were more than happy to give us a tour of their new home.
Oh my God, I was so excited.
After 3 weeks of living in shelters at Missouri Southern State and Webb City Junior High, Rosie Sanders and her boyfriend were happy to get their own space.
We could, spend time like we was spending time, cooking, eating, having fun, playing cards. Stuff that you couldn't do when you was in the shelter.
The couple was the first to get a FEMA trailer, one they can have for up to 18 months.
It came with the couch, with the hideaway bed, the chair, end tables, refrigerator, stove, coffee maker, microwave, even gave us some dishes.
Everything they need after losing all they had in their Michigan Avenue apartment.
Red Cross been helping out, Salvation Army, the bridge was helping out.
Well, FEMA helped us out a lot.
FEMA was the one that got the house, so FEMA helped out pretty good, really good.
And while both admit they miss that apartment, they're grateful for a roof over their heads where they can all be together.
I told myself, we're going back to our house tonight. We're going home.
FEMA trailers are still arriving, and more people are getting new homes.
In fact, while you were there, Rosie actually got some good news.
She did. She found out her best friend just found out she'd be moving into her own trailer soon.
Well, weather-wise, a much nicer day today than it has been the last 2 or 3 days. We've got a cooler, drier air mass moving in, and we can enjoy that, I think, for the next few days here on this first day of summer. It's nice to be able to pass along a nicer forecast for you. We're clear on the scan of live Doppler 8 First Alert radar for the evening. Clouds will be variable. There's a slight chance we'll see a shower. Temperatures falling back from the low 80s back into the mid 70s for the evening hours. And again, clouds will be coming and going along with the cooler air mass moving in. More on that forecast in a few minutes on KOMU 8 News at 6.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Well, the first day of summer is causing more than just temperatures to heat up. So is Missouri law enforcement. KOMU 8's Cody LeGros is live near Interstate 70 to tell us how you can beat that heat. Cody?
That's right. Missouri lawmakers started the Heat is On campaign today. Now, HEAT stands for High Enforcement Action Teams, and what that means is more state highway patrol officers will be along Missouri interstates, highways, and roads with heavier enforcement to make sure that you are traveling safely. Now, the HEAT campaign began today and it will go through September. The Highway Patrol says it sees its highest number of fatal and serious injury crashes in the summer months. Now, Missouri has seen a steady decrease in deaths related to traffic accidents, but those numbers could be much lower. Last summer, Missouri saw more than 250 deaths, around 1,700 injuries, and the State Highway Patrol would like to see those numbers decrease. Now, the Highway Patrol says they are just trying to help the public arrive alive.
But when you throw in the heat, you get these teams of officers out there trying to prevent people from following too close, trying to prevent people from making unsafe lane changes. These are things that really contribute to accidents on the interstates.
Now, I-70 will feel the heat later this week. Starting on Friday, the State Highway Patrol will begin their 24-hour enforcement. Last year, they handed out more than 1,000 traffic citations, so be sure to go out there and drive safely. Reporting live in Columbia, Cody LeGros, KOMU 8 News.
Well, come next Friday, folks parking downtown Columbia will notice a quarter doesn't buy as many minutes as it used to. KOMU 8's Brian Johnson reports how people are reacting to the City Council's decision to double parking meter rates.
Liza Babington has worked in Columbia for more than a year. She's disappointed the City Council has decided to double parking meter rates.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but all those quarters add up.
The city projects those quarters will add up to an additional $600,000 in parking revenue each year. The city will use the money to help pay for the construction of a parking garage on Short Street.
In essence, a positive aspect. It shows that Columbia is growing. We're getting a lot more revenue. We're getting a lot more residents. The schools are getting a lot more enrollment. And with growth, you have these kinds of things that come about.
For those looking to save a dime, you might consider parking in the garage rather than paying the meter. For every hour you park, you'll save 10 cents.
We always have people coming in from out of town who are a little concerned about the parking and don't understand if they can park on the street or what the meter rate is, if it's at night.
A lot of the downtown employees have to park on the street, which when you're making minimum wage and you're working an 8-hour shift, that's a big chunk of change.
Change or not, the change starts July 1st. Brian Johnson, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
And the City Council also voted to make parking in garages, though, free on Saturdays. University of Missouri Healthcare and University of Missouri Police are investigating a missing package containing patient billing information. The health system sent letters today informing 1,288 patients whose billing information was included in that lost package. It was sent by private courier from a Kansas City bank. University of Missouri Healthcare has now terminated its contract with that courier.
A Versailles mother is outraged that a sewage backup in her son's apartment wasn't fully cleaned up for nearly a week. KOMU 8's Jamal Andrus has the story.
I did that and I attached the pictures, but you might send.
Tina McCormick's son Ryan lives in Missouri Avenue Apartments, where last Wednesday their sewage backed up.
It smelled horrible, just the stench of raw sewage, and the carpets were wet.
Denise Patilla, who provides care for the disabled in these apartments, says the sewage backed up in several rooms.
The staff was saying that sewage was going all over, and they were frantically trying to soak it all up.
Now, as you can see, the carpet has been taken up now, but for 3 days straight, everywhere that you don't see carpet, there was raw sewage. The sewage backup was fixed the next night, but the apartments weren't actually cleaned until Monday, 5 days later. Action Management, who handles insurance for the complex, told Patilla
everything was fine and I was overreacting and that it was fine, my clients could move right back in.
But Patilla says that was not the case.
There was toilet paper and sewage, black stuff in the bathtubs. Carpets were still damp. They had not been cleaned.
The Action Management owner told KOMU 8 News the company went above and beyond by not only fixing the pipe that caused the backup, but by also cleaning the apartments. But for Tina McCormick, the time to save Missouri Avenue Apartments has passed. Already displaced for nearly a week, her son will have to find a new place to live. Jamal Andrus, KOMU 8 News, Versailles.
The Action Management owner says the cleaning company he hired told him that the apartments were livable, but after Spatilla complained, he sent another crew out earlier today to finish the job.
Well, the cicadas may be dying off, but Japanese beetles are just showing up. The bugs are coming out later than normal, and they're headed for your flowers if they haven't already arrived. Residents of Mill Creek Manor in West Columbia say they see more beetles than most neighborhoods in Columbia. The grubs have damaged residents' lawns, and the adult bugs have started chowing down on plants. In an 8 Goes Green segment, children can't escape the learning this summer.
But they have a blast doing it.
And some nicer weather coming up as we have a kinder, gentler forecast. Next on KOMU 8 News at 6.
KOMU 8 News in HD is presented. The First Alert Weather Cam is brought to you by your Heart of Missouri Chevy dealers. Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with Chief Weathercaster Dave Schmidt.
6:12 on this Tuesday evening. There you get a look at nice blue, clear conditions with a slightly cloud cover over the southwestern portion of Pettis County and northern Morgan County there. There's a look at live Doppler 8 First Alert radar, and I can tell you tonight it's not going to be very stormy at all. In fact, we may have just a slight chance for a shower. Other than that, we're going to usher in a new era, 3 days worth of an era of more comfortable temperatures out there. Looking forward to it. Right now, we've got a variably cloudy sky, 79 degrees, winds out of the west-southwest. It's breezy out there at 20 miles per hour, occasionally gusting to around 30. Humidity, you will note, is much less. Thank goodness for that. It's a lot more comfortable to be outdoors. Take a look at some temperatures around the area. 81 in Marshall, 82 in Sedalia, 81 at Osage Beach. Jefferson City is warm at 85. We're looking at 79 in Mexico and Moberly. Herman's at 84 and Rolla is at 82. Very pleasant evening, and 82 doesn't feel so bad when you have lower humidity. Cold front is moving through. That's going to be the weather changer, weather maker. Off to the east of that, they've had some pretty serious thunderstorms going on in central sections of Illinois today. And after the front passes through, we're going to move in some cooler, drier air, and there'll be just a few clouds tomorrow with some sunshine, quite a bit of sunshine actually, as we're looking forward to a nicer day. We're going to begin the morning with probably temperatures in the low 60s, 64, 65 degrees, 63 in Columbia. And then as we move through the day, you'll note up here you're seeing some rain, but that's well up to our north and northeast. We're going to be moving our temperature up into the comfortable middle 70s with a good bit of sunshine and about an even mix of clouds as well. So it'll be a nice Wednesday for us. And Thursday and Friday look pretty good too. Get to that in a second. Here's a look at my live Doppler 8 First Alert forecast. Partly cloudy, cooler, slight chance of an evening shower, about 20% chance. 63 for the overnight low temperature. Tomorrow, variably cloudy and cooler with the temperature in the mid-70s. It'll be very nice with a westerly wind. And then tomorrow night, nicely cool, 59 for that overnight low. Moving into Thursday morning, maybe want to put a couple of windows up. Be some pretty good sleeping weather, all things being relative to the warm weather we've just come out of. Over the next 3 days, that's more like it. Temperatures in the 70s, lower humidities, no storms in the picture until we get into Saturday and Sunday. Then we're looking at another frontal boundary moving into the area, and that will likely affect our weekend weather. We'll keep you posted as we know more. Here's a look at the rest of my live Doppler 8 First Alert 8-day forecast. Early next week, it'll be shades of summertime. And by the way, today is the first day of summer. Back up into the 90s, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Good reason to remember those folks who do not have the luxury of air conditioning. Get them a box fan. New ones are preferable. Gently used ones are good. Drop them off at Lowe's in Jefferson City and Columbia and Westlakes in Fulton.
Good advice.
Okay.
Thanks, Chip. A local volunteer is keeping his 2-liter bottles and putting them into full throttle.
That's right. KOMU 8's Cody LeGros tells us how in this 8 Goes Green report.
All right, you're up.
Some local children can't escape learning this summer, but one teacher has a lesson worth listening to.
When they do recycle, they don't just have to go to a recycling area and give them cans for money. You can actually recycle by just creating something.
And create something he did. 15-year-old Michael York is a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. The Hickman student teaches his own recycling class to children, turning trash into treasure.
It's actually really fun teaching little kids how to recycle, because then once they get their projects done, you can help them do the fun stuff too.
Today's assignment, building bottle rockets. By using old 2-liter bottles, scrap paper, and rubber tubing, children build some explosive fun. York's mother says it's more than just a recycling lesson.
He's teaching them how to care about their community. He's teaching them that, you know, you don't have to throw away things, and you can use it to help other kids and have fun, too. The bottle rockets, all the kids have fun with the bottle rockets.
York already has a long list of community awards, but this time he's looking forward to a different type of accomplishment.
Seeing the smiles on kids' face.
And with this activity, it's sure to keep happening. Cody LeGros, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
Michael York is in the process of working on his next project with athletic company Nike. He wants to turn old shoes into synthetic turf through the Reuse a Shoe project.
Well, hundreds of cyclists rode from Sedalia to Boonville today as part of the 11th annual Katy Trail Ride. The entire ride will take cyclists from Clinton to St. Charles as part of the 5-day event that attracts riders from around the world. Although the weather has been nice so far, the bikers worry about potential storms that could cause problems for the rest of the trip.
Well, yesterday was kind of hot, but it's better than getting rained on, which would be the worst, or if the river floods, which we're hoping it doesn't do.
Cyclists will continue their ride tomorrow, biking the 51 miles between Boonville and Jefferson City.
A deaf cyclist is pedaling through mid-Missouri today to raise awareness for a special cause. Dr. Murdoch Henderson has been cycling alone since May 30th when he started his trip in San Francisco. So far, he has traveled 2,600 miles to raise awareness for deaf education in South Africa through his organization. This afternoon, we caught up with him in California, Missouri. He's on his way to Washington, D.C. and hopes to be there by July 4th.
A man has devoted his life to Mid-Missouri sports.
And today, Mid-Missouri gave back to him.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Gervino.
Hi, everyone. A pair of Missouri Tigers softball stars are wearing the red, white, and blue of the United States and will be wearing U.S. colors later this summer. Back to the ladies at the news desk.
Okay, thanks, Chris. A summer sky lights up.
And a garden gives back after a long wait. That's coming up.
The KOMU 8 Stock Report is brought to you by your Heart of Missouri Chevy dealers.
Welcome back. In case you hadn't checked the calendar, today is the longest day of the year, the day of the summer solstice, the first day of summer. And ironically, our forecast looks more like spring. We'll get down to a cooler 63 overnight, partly cloudy, 76 tomorrow.
You may have seen workers painting new center stripes on city streets today. Columbia Public Works paints the lines twice a year. Workers will be outline striping the roads for the next 4 weeks. Crews will repaint the lines from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Drivers should avoid crossing freshly painted lines and driving too closely to the paint truck. Crews will paint the roads again late September or early October.
Let's take a look at our photo finish now. Jerry Howard sends us a picture of a soothing sunset view from the backyard of his house, and that is a pretty one. Wow. Then Jessica Burry of Millersburg snapped a picture of cucumbers grown in the family garden. She says they're in the shape of a smiley face. Sarah Hill says they're in the shape of a U, reminiscent of the new U News coming up at 4 o'clock in September. Send us your photos and the stories behind them. We'll put them on KOMU 8 News at 5 and 6. The email address is right there. Share it at KOMU.com.
And coming up at 10, the Humane Society has taken record amounts of animals and are struggling to place them.
And uninsured residents of Sedalia are looking at a new option to help them recover from the tornado. We'll see you at 9 and then 10 o'clock.